Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I got this classic holiday look. I wanted to do something very soft and neutral for the eyes and then do a pop of color on the lips, and I also incorporated some sparkle and glitter in this look as well. Of course, I feel like it's not a holiday look if there isn't some sort of sparkle involved. So I really hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial, and let's get started. So as you guys can tell, I already have my eyebrows done. I'm moving on to prepping the eyelids using MAC's Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. This is a really great way to prime the eyelids because not only does it keep your eyeshadows on a lot longer, this also has pigment to it, so it covers up any of that redness or anything on your eyelids. So this next part is optional, but I'm going to pick up the color Porcelain by Morphe and apply this all over the lid just because I feel like when I have a white base, it makes all the rest of the eyeshadows come out a lot more vibrant. So I'm just going to take a packing brush. This one is by Sigma. It's the E59, and I'm just going to apply this all over. Alright, moving on to the crease, I'm picking up the color Latte by Makeup Geek, and I'm going to use my Sigma E27 brush to just blend this right into the crease. I'm also going to pick up a little bit of Makeup Geek's Barcelona Beach and blend this into the crease as well. Next, I'm taking this L'Oreal Infallible eyeshadow in the color Iced Latte. It looks like this. It's so pretty. And this is going to be my lid color. I do want this look to be really soft on the eyes, but I'm going to take a little bit more Barcelona Beach and just deepen up the crease. And now I'm just taking whatever was left on that Sigma E59 and just going over the brow bone with it. Moving on to the fun part of this makeup look, I am going to be creating a very soft, romantic sort of smoked out wing liner. So in order to do that, I'm going to be using eyeshadows rather than a liquid or a gel liner just to give a very soft, sort of effortless look. So I'm going to start off by taking Makeup Geek's eyeshadow in Americano, and I'm going to use a pencil brush to apply this to the outer corner. But first I'm going to line the outer edge of my eye using some tape so that way I can get a really precise wing. Take a piece of tape, stick it on your hand first to make sure that it's not too sticky. Just peel it off and then place it right on the outer corner of your eye. Just start pressing this shadow into the outer corner of the eye. Then I'm just going to drag it down onto the part of the lash line. You can dip back into the shadow and layer it up as much as you need to get it to as dark as you want the wing to be. Now what I'm doing is picking up the color Corrupt, which is also by Makeup Geek, and I'm using a flat definer brush to press this directly onto the lash line. You'll notice that I'm not bringing the shadow all the way into the inner corner of the eye, and that's because I feel like it just gives a more soft and smoky effect if you don't bring it all the way in. So once I'm done with the wing for now, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of this L'Oreal shadow and just intensify the inner corner of the eye a little bit more. Moving on to lashes, I'm going to be using the Allure Definition Lashes in the number 126. This is what they look like. I don't think that I've used these before, so I'm excited to see what they look like. Alright you guys, so that's it for the eyes for right now. I will come back and finish them up later, but for now we're moving on to the face, and I'm really excited because I'm using a ton of new products that I have never used before today, so you can kind of get a first impression on some of the new things that I've picked up recently. The first thing that I'm going to start with is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. It's oil-free and pore minimizing. I picked up the mini size, so I'm just going to start placing this mainly in my T-zone and places that my skin normally gets the most oil or where my foundation tends to break up the quickest. And you can use a brush or your finger. I like to use my finger and just push this into the skin in little circular motions and really just work it into the pores. And next I'm moving on to foundation. I'm going to be taking my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation and mixing it with my new Cover FX custom cover drops. They just look like this, and the reason I'm mixing them is because this foundation is just a about a shade and a half too dark for me at the moment, so I bought the custom cover drops in a shade lighter so that way I can mix it and create the color that will match my skin tone. And now you can see once I mix them together, it just lightened up that Ultra HD foundation to match my skin. I'm excited to really give this Ultra HD foundation a try because I've had it for a while and I have used it, but I've mixed it with other foundations to lighten it up. So I'm excited to really try it and see if I like it or not. These Cover FX drops are not supposed to change the consistency of the foundation that you're using. They're just supposed to add coverage and lighten or darken the foundation if that's what you're using it for. So I'm going to take my Morphe M439 brush and just start buffing this into the skin. Alright, well the coverage seems amazing. I'm really impressed with those two mixed together. I think that they were pretty good. Now I'm going to be using another product that I haven't used yet. I'm going to be taking the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. This is what the packaging looks like. I have only dipped my finger in this and just swatched it on my hand to get an idea of the consistency, but I haven't actually used this yet. And so basically what you're supposed to do is just apply this in the dark area underneath your eyes where you get dark circles before you go in with your concealer, and it's just supposed to really brighten up the eyes. So let's see if it does what it's supposed to do. I'm just taking my Sigma P82 brush and dipping it in here and then applying it onto the skin. So I guess I'm mainly just going to focus this right where there's darkness, which is usually right here for me, and then right up underneath the lower lash line. Well, so far this seems really cool. It's very creamy. It's not as thick and like drying as a lot of things that come in this sort of container seem to be. And I don't know if it's brightening. I can't really tell, to be honest, because my lights are so bright, but I hope it's showing in the camera like what this looks like. So it does look like it's sort of reflecting light back, which I would assume that would be good to like bounce the light back and create a brightening effect. And I'm just going to take my beauty blender and just like dab this into the skin because I don't want it to be so heavy to where it would make my concealer crease. So I'm just going to like blend this in a little bit. For concealer, I'm going to be using my absolute favorite. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer in the shade Light Warm. And then right afterwards, I'm going to be setting it using the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is the first time that I'm testing this product out. It was like $5 or $6. It's a translucent extra coverage face powder. So I'll let you guys know what I'm thinking of this. I'm excited. I do love my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, but I want to make sure that I'm using a variety of high-end and drugstore for my viewers, so that way you guys have some options if you like what you're seeing. So I'm just applying my concealer how I normally do, right underneath the eyes to brighten up that area. And then I'll also take some on the chin, the Cupid's bow, down the center of the nose, and then just a little bit up onto the forehead as well. I really want light to be in the center of my face, and then sometimes I like to do it right around my mouth too. Okay, I look crazy, that's alright. Now I'm going to take my damp beauty blender like always and just start blending this out. For underneath the eyes, I've been using this Morphe G2 brush to blend it out just because I feel like it leaves a little bit more of a full coverage. Rather than when I use my beauty blender, it kind of shears it out. So I'm just going to press this into the skin. I really hope that this Becca stuff does not make my concealer crease, because this concealer, I have never had an issue with this creasing before, so I hope that it stays that way. Since this powder is like so powdery, I'm going to try using it with a beauty blender to set it, just so that way it doesn't fly everywhere. Oh yeah, that's much better. This powder does have a scent to it. It reminds me, if you guys have ever tried like a CoverGirl face powder where it kind of smells like that. This is what that smells like. Alright, so now that my skin is nice and set with the powder, I'm going to move on to bronzer. I'm gonna let you guys know what I'm thinking of this powder. I like how it looks on the skin, but that scent is just, I hope it doesn't drive me crazy. I don't like scented things on my face. Moving on to bronzer, I'm picking up this one by Sephora. It is their bronzer in the shade number 3, and I'm just taking my Morphe M527 brush to bronze up the skin like I normally would. I've been loving this bronzer brush, you guys. I think it's definitely worth all of the hype that it's been getting since it's like a dupe for that MAC brush. Because it really just picks up the product and dispenses it so beautifully, where it doesn't like pile color in one area. It kind of just spreads it out because it's so fluffy. And then I'm just going to take some bronzer on this Morphe M441 brush and just blend this down the sides of my nose, because I feel like my face looks weird if I have like bronzy cheeks and then a super pale nose. It just doesn't make sense, because if you really did have a natural bronze, your nose would have some color. Okay, so now that my skin is nice and bronzed, I'm going to be using a really exciting product. This is the Tarte Bling It On Holiday Palette. And please just take a second to look at these blush colors. How gorgeous. I don't know what color I should go with. I'm between this color and this color right now. Oh, I don't know, this one's so pretty too. Give me a second. Okay, so I think I'm going to go with this blush over here, which is sort of like a mauve-y pink shade. And then if it's too much, maybe I will just dust over some of this really pretty like neutral peach color on top of it. But I want to try something different because I feel like I always go for a nude blush. So I'm going to try this one and see if I like it. So I'm picking up the shade Fetching and using my Sigma F40 brush. This is my favorite blush brush, and just popping this on my cheeks. And I like to start off by applying the product back here, just because if there's too much on the brush, I won't deposit it right on the apples of my cheeks. It's a lot harder to make that less noticeable if it's right in the center of your face, rather than if you start back here and you mess up, you can really blend it out a lot easier. Now for contour, I'm going to be taking my Makeup Geek eyeshadow in the color Barcelona Beach. This is one of my favorite Makeup Geek shades because it is seriously so universal. I use it for so many different looks and so many different techniques. And I'm going to be contouring using this Morphe M512 brush. I make sure to tap off the excess because this is really pigmented and I'm going to have to seriously blend this out anyways. But just pressing this into the hollows of the cheeks. I always like to go on my temples as well. On my temples and always underneath the chin. Alright, now what I always do, because that line is so intense, I take this Morphe M436, it's just a dual fiber brush, and just start blending it out. You always want to blend out your contour because you don't want it to look unnatural. And notice when I'm blending in little circles, but I'm pushing the product up. You don't want to drag your contour down because then it's just going to defeat the purpose of contouring, because you're really trying to like lift and structure the face, and if you drag it downwards, you're really just getting rid of that structure. And if you want, you can stop there, but I like to make sure that the line is extra crisp. So I'm going to be taking this Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade 110 Porcelain. It's a very light shade. And then I'm going to just take a brush and run it right below that contour line, and you'll see it's really just going to clean everything up. And now you can see how sharp that contour line is. This is a great technique if you're just learning how to contour because it's such an easy way to clean up your mistakes. Moving on to highlighter, I'm going to be taking this one from ColourPop called Smokin' Whistles. This is what it looks like. These are absolutely gorgeous highlighters, you guys, and they're only $8. This one's really pretty because it has a very peachy undertone to it, so it's going to complement a ton of different skin tones. And I'm going to use a different dual fiber brush. This one is from e.l.f. And I'm just going to pick up some of the product and then dust it on the high points of my face. So right at the very top of my cheekbones, right above where the arch of the brow is, I'd like to apply some highlighter. And then I always like to take a little highlighter and Just place a little bit right at the end of my nose because I feel like it gives a cute little button effect to the nose. I don't know, I think it's so cute. Now I feel like I have so much product on my face, and that's because I really do. So I'm going to take MAC Fix Plus. This thing is seriously so useful for so many different things. Another product that I just love. And I'm going to spray this all over my face because it's really going to mix the foundation with my skin and just really help it all settle so it doesn't look powdery. It's really going to give it a more natural, luminous looking effect to the entire makeup look. It also just feels so good to spray your face after you've been putting so much stuff on it. You can already see how much it intensified that highlight. Going back to the eyes, I am taking the same pencil brush that I used to create that wing, and I am taking Barcelona Beach and just running this right on the outer corner of my lower lash line. I just want to keep this on the outer corner because I want this inner part of my eye to be really just bright, and I'm going to add some sparkles so it'll be nice and playful and bright. So I'm taking this Morphe E18 brush and I'm picking up some of that L'Oreal shadow. I'm going to spray it with a little bit of Fix Plus to intensify the shadow, and then pop this right on the inner corner of the eye. I'm also going to take, this is a nude flesh toned liner, and place this right on the waterline, and this is by NYX. It's one of their Wonder Pencils in the shade Light. So you guys could stop here if you wanted and just add some mascara to the lower lashes, but of course for me I feel like holiday looks are not complete unless they have some sort of glitter. So I'm going to be taking two of these NYX crystal liners. One is a gold color and then the other one is just clear with sparkles. I'm going to place the gold one mainly on the center, and then the one with just the sparkles right here towards the inner corner of the eye. I'm taking a tiny bit of L'Oreal Telescopic and I'm just going to coat the outer portion of my lashes. Alright you guys, so I went back and forth with a couple lip options, but I ended up going with my Italia Deluxe lip liner in the shade Burgundy, and then my Milani lipstick in the shade 40 Cabaret Blend. So I'm actually really happy with the way that this look turned out. I love these lashes. I feel like they give that really soft look that I was going for, and I love the smoked out liner. It's just such an effortless look. I love that, you know, when it looks like you didn't really try too hard, but it just looks so soft and pretty and simple. And I did try a couple different lip colors with this, but the burgundy lip is the one that really stood out to me for this. Feel free to do whatever lip color with this eye look. That's the great thing about doing a neutral eye look. You can really do whatever you want for the rest of your face. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.